This is the first part in a series where I'm going to build a Conlang family. So we'd better start, I suppose, with some goals. Um, or perhaps intentions might be better, or no, ideas. I these ideas to start out with, I might abandon them entirely. I might do something completely different. Um, now, but what I'm thinking is an um, parallel, i.e., family, um, or variations on an Indo-European theme. And what I mean by this is I want to create something roughly inspired by the Indo-European family, but not exactly like it, and perhaps with some, for example, Finno-Ugric influence, perhaps in the inflectional morphology. Um, so I want a um, mm, I want one of the languages to um, use um, Cyrillic, uh, Greek alphabet one at least once. Um, let's see. Have a deep orthography, fairly deep rather, have a fairly deep orthography at least once, um, have a somewhat, um, have a somewhat cl classical feel to the inflection at least once, or given that we're starting out with a roughly Indo-European-esque sort of proto-language, then we will pretty much already have a classical feel to begin with, so um, maybe have a conservative branch or something like that. I don't know. Um, have something like Grimm's law occur at least once. Um, what else do I want to have? Um, right. I think this is enough to begin with. I'm going to rename the sheet. I'm going to call it ideas. Now we can move over to sheet 2, and no, you can't see this, so I'm going to make it 200% again. This is going to be our phonology for the proto-language. Um, or rather the phonemic inventory. Um, so I'm going to go for something roughly Indo-European. Um, uh, Conlang phonology. Um, so that means we're going to have what do we have? We have place along the top and manner, right? Stop, fricative, nasal, um, bilabial. Do we want to be that specific, or we can just have labial here? Um, Right. What do we write? We phonation contrasts. I want to go the somewhat of an Indo-European route and have a three-way phonation contrast. I don't want to use the classical Brugmanian, if I may say so, Indo-European system of having voiced, voiceless, and breathy voiced, aspirated, whatever. Um, because um, uh, I don't, not because I believe it's impossible, but because I, well, well, not because I believe it's impossible, but more because I didn't want to do exactly what I did. A three-way phonation contrast. We could have p, b, and p. We could have p, b, p. We could have ejectives. We could have glottal stuff. Um, I'm thinking we could have fortis, lenis, um, aspirated, and what would that like? What would that look like? I'm what would the realization of the fortis lenis distinction be phonetically? Um, and I'm tempted to make it, I'm tempted to make the primary distinguishing feature of the fortis lenis distinction length, gemination. So we could have double T opposed to single T, opposed to aspirated T, and then a secondary distinguishing characteristic could be voice, which may develop at some point after maybe the conservative branch diverges, and then we lose gemination, and the sole distinguishing characteristic of is remains voice. And I'm going to and voice is actually going to probably develop on the leanest consonants, and this is kind of what we see in Hittite, if the orthography is to be believed. It's rather controversial, though. Anyhow, so we're going to have labial stops. Uh, there we go. Labial fricatives. We don't need labial nasals. M. What else? No. Liquids, continuants. No. Glides. Let's have liquid and glide. Or semi-vowel. I think I like better. Um, so how far in are we? 8 minutes and a half. Right, we're making pretty good time. Not that I have any time set, just anyhow. So actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these bold and underlined and make this a bit, move this over a bit, make this bold and underlined too. Labial. What comes next after labial? Coronal. So coronal stops. T double T T H. Coronal fricatives. We've got to have an S. Coronal nasals. N. L and R. Semivowels. No. Okay. What else? Dorsal, or we're going to have two, three series. I don't know. The traditionally, well, Indo-European traditionally has three series of velars, palatovelars, plain velars, and labiovelars. There have been great arguments about whether it's justified. Um, uh, but I'm creating my own proto-language. I'm not copying Indo-European wholesale, or at least not fully. So I'm going to do velar, labiovelar, and what's it called? Uvula. Um, okay. And the uvula, yeah, and we can we're going to have a series of fricatives corresponding to these three, which will basically be the laryngeal equivalents. Because yes, we are going to do vowel coloring, and we are going to lose some vowels, and we're going to develop ablaut somehow. Um, um, right. Hang on. Um, let's see. Right, Vela stops. K double K, KH. Labio Vela stops. KW double KW, KWH. I is this how I want to orthographize them? Orthographize, romanize, right, whatever. I can have Q, double Q, and QH. Do I need all these contrasts? Maybe they existed before the proto-language, and because I believe the farther back you go, the harder it is to distinguish these things. Let's see. Aka, aka, aka. Yeah, that's distinguishable. I think it's more distinguishable than a voicing distinction would be for uvulas. Anyhow, we're going to have a ha. We're going to have. Do we want voicing distinctions for the fricatives? We don't for the S. Though we might evolve a Z later. Uh, Hang on. Well, we're going to start with hua and hua. No, hua. No, no, not hua. We just her. Um, right. Do we want? Um, do we want maybe? Right. We might do. We do not need a distinction, do we? We probably want. No, we're not going to have any phonation contrasts in the fricatives. And then we can just have a W here and a God, we don't have palatal V. Right, we need a palatal column. Yeah, yeah. I. Well, we could stick them in with the coronals, but that's only slightly true. The half truth, but well, correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, we can have a year there. Right, this is the consonants. Let's label it properly. Um, Consonants. And right, save that. There we go. Right, the vowels. Now for the vowels. We want a fairly small vowel inventory, as Proto-Indo-European is supposed to have had. Going to base it around. Right, we need some labels. High, mid, low, front, no, back, center, front. Right, we want an R. I'm not going to use the IPA character because I can't be bothered to look it up. to have an R. Um, right. Um, E, R. What about we want an E and an U, and then we can have allophonically or and air, as allophones of the mid vowels can be allophones of the high vowels around uvulars, and then we, for example, get rid of the pseudo-laryngeal sort of uvular fricative thing, and we get contrasts. Yay. Um, do right. Um, uh, O and A are allophones of E and U, uh, around uvulars. Uh, that is not to be. Oh God, what have I done? Excel is playing up on me. How do I? Is there a clear the formatting button? Uh, there probably is somewhere. Uh, anyhow, Shift Delete. No, no. I want to pull up the clipboard thing. No, and also do not capitalize I. It is not the pronoun we're talking about. The anyhow. Um, right. Is there any other vowel coloring that we could do? Let me save the thing. Vowel coloring, vowel coloring. Could we have the, no, I think this is enough vowel coloring for now, maybe. Okay. And then uh, E, uh, and U are themselves, um, uh, are equivalent to syllabic um, yod and W. Do not, that's not a title. Okay, let's put an and in there. Okay. Right. Oh, hang on. Let me add another thing to the ideas. Have a have a paradigmatic, whatever, whatever, a paradigmatic accent system like found and in Balto-Slavic, um, because that would be something I would like to have. Hmm, let's see. Right, these are not consonants. These are vowels. Um, right. Hang on. Let me get the phonotactics. Right, what are we going to do for phonotactics? Syllable structure specifically. Um, Syllable structure. Um, Indo-European syllable structure mostly follows the sonority hierarchy, except for several, well, one or two weird exceptions relating to, I believe, labials. But what do we do here? What do we do here? We want to well, we want stir as an onset because, well, stir and skr and things like that are very Indo-European. Um, let's see. What do we want? Um, so that means we can have a class. We can have. Do you want to restrict it to sibilant fricatives, or do we want to have ht and things like that? And k. I don't know. I don't know. Pretty sure. Well, in Indo-European, laryngeals behaved pretty much like S in terms of syllable structure. So yeah, let's do that. Let's have well, let's have say F equals well, we have an optional fricative, um, an op maximum syllable structure. Let's say the max syllable structure is fricative plus stop plus where do nasals fit in? Well, we want sn and st. Do we want snt, sntar, snar? No. Fricative plus stop or nasal, maybe. Um, uh, fricative plus stop or nasal plus liquid str plus snr plus what do you call it, plus liquid plus plus semi-vowel. Right, this can be, this, we'll call this the maximum onset. And an example of it would be steer, steer, or yeah, something like that. The save that. Ooh, the nucleus can be. Do we allow do we count post-vocalic semivowels as part of the nucleus or part of the coda? That is, do we allow diphthongs? Do we allow long vowels? Even can we have two mori in the hang on hang on uh, uh nucleus vowel, at least one vowel. Do we do V plus V plus any semi-vowel? I I'm thinking ablaut lengthened grade. No, yes. Hang on. Do we want to evolve that later? Because according to Cortland, who lengthened grade is a rather late thing in Proto-Indo-European. Hang on, what do I... Long vowels, let's not have long vowels. Let's not even have just, let's, yeah, just a single vowel. Not even zero grade yet. We're not going to have, we're going to evolve ablaut. Right, coda. I'm tempted to just put this in reverse. Semi-vowel plus liquid. That would be YJLWLWR. Yeah, hang on, but we can have R. But Indo-European could have R and things like that. R. But not us. I don't know. What do we put it here? Plus W plus swutier no, God, we're complicating things. Ura, 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 ura. Hang on. Ura, can we have, because at the moment we can have lwa, which isn't, I don't think you can have were in, hang on. I'm going to swap this around. No, but then, no, that doesn't work at all. No, that does not work. Oh no. But we want r somehow. We want to have ra or something like that. We need to make a special case for labials like in Indo-European. Oh no. Hang on. Let me get a book. Right, I've got Horace Lunt's Grammar of Old Church Slavonic, which I'm going to steal which he gives the maximum onset for somewhere. Okay, sibilant plus non-continuant or h plus v or nasal. Okay. Right, so I'm going to adapt this. I'm going to say fricative plus non-continuant or h. Okay, fricative plus w or nasal plus liquid plus semivowel fricative plus stop. No, we did. Okay, fricative plus stop plus w or nasal plus liquid plus semivowel. Do we want stw plus yeah? Okay, this is looking better. Now we can have r and l, and there's a stray bracket missing. Right. Okay, now we just do it backwards for the coda. Y plus J rather plus liquid plus W or nasal plus stop plus fricative. This needs to be the max coda. Okay. So so an example of a possible. No, this needs to change. This, I think, stmia stmia or stlia. Then we can have Yillwoods. Ah, damn it. This is... Okay, this is interesting. We'll probably revise this a lot. Anyhow. I'm going to leave this one off here. See you in the next video when we'll probably generate some words and work out more phonotactics, and maybe even a bit of morphology.